was a very creative person. Our kitchen table or even stray walls would always have a craft project on them, or I would be dancing once a week and having the greatest time, or I was baking something yummy in the kitchen. But as I got older, my creativity went on pause. I got distracted by things like COVID or struggling to fit in, school and all the different tests I had to take, and some health problems along the way. But now, I want to get back to that dancing, happy, creative little girl that I was. And to do this, I'm going to try every single creative outlet I can get my hands on. And in turn, I will become the most creative person alive. Hello and welcome to the most creative person alive, where I try a bunch of different creative hobbies in the hopes of becoming the most creative person alive. In this episode, I am going to try customizing Sonny angels. You may have seen in my New York vlog that I loved getting Sonny angels and I loved opening them. And don't get me wrong, Sonny angels are all adorable and they're all very, very cute, but some of them are not the cutest. And I wanted to try and customize them to look like cute Sonny angels that I would love. I got this idea because I was scrolling through Pinterest and I saw a Sonny angel that I absolutely loved. I'll put a photo up somewhere of it. And I always wondered what it was, who it was done by, and I just found out today that it was done by someone on Instagram called Dell's Face, I'm pretty sure, Dollface. This is her Instagram, where she customized Sonny angels to look like Ponyo, and I saw another one where it's Ponyo and Sosuke from my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, Ponyo. So I'm really excited to customize them to look like Ponyo and Sosuke. I guess without further ado, it's time to start customizing. So the first Sonny angel I'm going to customize is this snake Sonny angel. I had this Sonny angel and then I gave it away to a friend because they didn't have any Sonny angels, and I'm terrified of snakes, like one of my biggest fears in the whole entire world. And then I got the same series that the snake was in, and then I got the snake again. So I'm going to customize this into something that isn't a snake, so I am not terrified. For Christmas, in an advent calendar that my mom made for me, I got a Sonny angel from the Candy series, and I got Jelly Bean, which is pretty cute. Kind of reminds me of like those synchronized swim caps from like the 80s or 90s. So I thought this one would be cute and easy to decorate. The only challenging part is, oh yeah, Sonny angels can be decapitated. I didn't know if people knew that. Is that he has a lot of pink under, whereas with the snake Sonny angel, this one is being harder to decapitate. It very much has just like a hat on its head of snake. So yeah, these are the Sonny angels I'm going to customize. I feel kind of weird just holding their decapitated heads. Okay, let's go customize. Okay, so to make Ponyo and Sosuke, or like mold them, because I have the picture pulled up on my laptop and they have quite a lot of sculpted elements, I'm going to be using Model Magic. In no way am I a sculptor or anything. Turns out my headphone stand makes a great stand for my camera for little vloggy. Okay, so looking at the photo, it goes laptop, headphone stand. So the photo is right here. It looks like Sosuke has a less like face showing. So I think I'm gonna turn Snake into Sosuke and change it, and turn Jelly Bean into Ponyo, because I feel like that'll work a bit better. So I still have Todd from New York fame. I shouldn't be trusted to hold things. Let's start. I think I might just speed through the this. No, I'm not gonna speed through this. Oh, I have to cut the snake off. I have to decapitate a snake. I don't like violence, but I will cause violence to fake snakes. This is gonna be a much harder decapitation than I thought. It actually wasn't. It was quite satisfying. I was gonna try and cut off more, but I felt my scissors bending. So maybe that's not a good idea, but now I've committed. Should I grab a knife? Nah, okay, that's good enough. His hat is kind of like dupe. Does that make sense? Or did I just say weird words? Ponyo is definitely one of my favorites. Also, stacked cast. Studio Ghibli movies always have the most insane casts. And I love it because it is once again another Liam Neeson movie where his daughter gets taken away from him or leaves him. Like, at what point in your acting career do you think that is going to be your cast? Your like typecast? Unreliable father. I don't know what I'm doing. If worse comes to worse, I'm not gonna do Sosuke and I'm gonna turn this into Murphy, which is on my shirt. I'm already getting overwhelmed by Sosuke's hat. This might have all been a really bad idea. So I switched to look at a actual photo of Sosuke from the movie instead of the picture that I was referencing, because in the picture I'm referencing, Sosuke's hat is more like angular, if that makes sense. Like, it's more rectangular, where in this photo it is more domed. So I switched it to have his hat be more domed as well. Right now I am going to do his clothes, which those are going to be pretty simple, so I'll cut to when I do his clothes, or maybe I'll do a little time lapse of me putting the clothes on him. Let's see. Okay, I know he looks really weird right now, but this is gonna have to be a trust the process moment, because this is the best I can do right now. I forgot to mention that I am now moving on to decorating Ponyo, so let's get to that. I actually changed my mind. I think it would be better to start with her outfit, because when you do their outfits, you kind of like twist and turn them a lot. So I think I'm gonna do her dress first, and she wears like a cute little pair of bloomers under them, so I'm gonna work on that first. And I found that what's really helpful is to actually have scissors so that I can like cut different shapes out. And then I found an old dotting tool, which is used for close-up painting or for quilling, which is another different creative thing I could do. So that's been really helpful, getting in like little cracks and crevices of their arms and stuff. So I'm going to get started on her dress. Focus, there you go, gave her some little sleeves. And now I'm gonna work on the ruffles of her dress skirt thing. And pleating it as I go, and then I'm gonna make it stand up a bit and push it up so that it ruffles out a bit. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna try that and then I'll show you the finished product. Here is our little Ponyo with her little skirt going out and her little bloomers going all the way around. Her skirt doesn't look great in the back, so a good thing the camera wasn't focusing on her. But I think, crazily enough, I might decapitate her to do her hair, because I really don't want to mess with the ruffles. So, don't look at what I'm about to do. It wasn't pretty, but here's Ponyo's head. Now, how do I hold this up while I work on it? Give me a minute, I'll think of something. So my original idea was just sticking her head in a ball of clay, but that was creepy and stupid. I've just made a groundbreaking discovery. So I have this eraser pen that I use when I do my drawings, or when I just need an eraser or a rubber, as the correct people would say. There's a little hole for the rubber. Okay, ready? It is a perfect fit. A perfect fit. So now I have a little way to hold up her head while I work on it, and then I can also just put it in my pen holder to dry. Perfect, brilliant, incredible. Someone give me more adjectives. Okay, I'm gonna start rolling out pieces of her hair and I'll get back to you when I have little snakes of hair. So I have made some little, like, I don't even know what you would call these, tapered ends pieces that I'm gonna turn into Ponyo's hair. And I think I might cover her head in little pieces of clay first, just so that the clay will have a better grip, and that also so every piece of jelly bean is covered in a piece of clay. Is this a bad idea? So Ponyo's face has now been covered in little white model magic, and it is now time to add the hair. To remember, this is the photo that I am working off of. Just recap, this is the photo. And here is Ponyo's head. I think it looks okay. I'm not in love with it. I think I'll only be in love with it when I start painting it. But I think this is where I'm gonna stop for the day, and then tomorrow I'll pick up and paint them. So I'll see you when it's time to paint.
3 weeks later.
Hello, it is a lot later. So I waited to finish them. I let them dry. They were dry after like 24 hours. But I waited a while to let them dry because I wanted them to be as dry as possible. But also I was busy with grad stuff because I was busy with graduation practice and actually graduating. And then a week after graduation, I had stuff I needed to do to go, well, to be ready before an audition camp that I went to. So it's been about 3 weeks. I've graduated high school. I've been to a 2-week audition camp in LA, and now I am back home. But another reason that I was waiting, because I was waiting for an early birthday present where I can film overhead. So now I'm able to do overhead filming and be like a proper craft, or like proper YouTube channel, and now have over the head shots. Welcome to aesthetic over the top shots for videos now. So I started off by painting Ponyo's hair, which I did like this burnt orange color because that is kind of the color of her hair. And for Ponyo's colorations, I made everything a tiny bit too dark. So I later had to go in and lighten up her dress, but I actually liked the darker color of her hair. But painting her hair was kind of tedious because there were so many crooks and crevices. There were so many little patches of white spaces in her dress, in her hair, everywhere, that I had to go back and do touch-ups what felt like forever. As you can see, her hair is now painted, and now I'm moving on to painting her dress, which was kind of as tedious as painting her hair because of the ruffles. Getting it under and like where the bloomers and the ruffles meet was a bit difficult, and I was also very scared of painting on her skin, but I did, and I would just clean it up with a wet Q-tip. I cleaned up Sosuke later, which you'll see. But yep, this is just me painting in her dress. How fascinating. I just want you to see how crevicey, that's not a word, but I'm gonna say it's a word, like, well, you can't see, my hand's in the way, but there were so many little nooks, and these dolls are quite small. And also, as I was painting, pieces of her hair would pop off. Like, I don't know if you could see somewhere, there was like a little curl or wild strand of hair that had popped off. So I had to later go back in and paint those. Ah yes, me painting. This was tedious. And then I had to glue them back, which was also tedious because I couldn't figure out where the pieces broke off. So I was just like, she could use a piece of hair here. Let's just stick a curl, and probably put them in the wrong spot, but I don't care. I painted them. They were going to go on Ponyo. But now we are moving on to Sosuke. So Sosuke seemed pretty simple when the sculpting process, but in the painting process, this is when I was the most nervous, because with Ponyo, she was very simply done with colors, but Sosuke had a lot of detail with his hat, with his hair, with his like undercut, so his paint job was a bit more difficult than I was initially planning. So I'm just going around right now with a yellow just around his whole body, well, not around his whole body, where to like his shirt area would be, and then if I went too far I'll just touch it up with grey when I draw in his shorts. Now here comes the scary part, the detail work. Sonny angels are very small and I am not good at detail work. My hands can be quite shaky, so I was very nervous, and luckily these guys are going to be on a shelf because, spoiler alert, the details don't look as great as I think they're going to turn out. But yeah, with Sosuke, what I really liked is a lot of his colors I could just reuse instead of mixing like 7 different colors. Like the same color of his shirt is the same color of his little like half sun whatever for his hat. His shorts are the same color as his undercut, so there was a lot of same colors, so I didn't have to mix a bunch. But here I am just going around and painting in his shorts like I said I would. This part was actually pretty easy. The like painting of the bodies were pretty easy, especially on Sosuke. This part I did get paint stuck in between his legs and had to rub a Q-tip in between his legs to clean him up, but no one should be looking in between his legs anyway, you creep. But I did want to make sure he was clean and cute from all angles, because even though these guys are just going to sit on a shelf, I wanted to put effort and detail into them, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Oh, there's the Q-tip. Now I am painting in his hair. I don't know why, but something feels a little bit off with how I did his hair. I'm not sure what is off. If you guys can tell me what's off, I will happily repaint him. But something just didn't feel right with how I painted the back of his head. So, looks like Sosuke is only ever going to be shown from the front, but now I'm painting the bill of his captain's hat, which I also painted down onto his face and painted his hair. In the picture, they showed Sosuke having hair, and there was already that little tail from the snake that acted as some hair, so I just fully went with it and gave him some front bangs. And I also messed up on Ponyo's face a bit when I was painting in her hair. It was really messy and really difficult, so I got some paint on her face, but it actually does just look like little front like baby hairs, so I kept them. His hair from the front also looks a little bit off. I think it might be because I'm not used to seeing Sonny angels with hair, or his hair is just a bit thick or doesn't go down enough. I don't know, but now we're getting into the details of his anchor, which, this anchor, it does not look very good. You can tell I used a toothpick. I should have probably used that dotting tool that I found earlier, but this doesn't really look like an anchor. And at this point, I just had to accept the wonkiness. Like these stripes that I'm about to paint around his hat, no way am I going to make them perfect stripes. And I don't want to take the time to make them perfect stripes. They're going to be wonky, and they're going to have to be okay. That sounds like a really cheesy inspirational quote of we're all wonky, but we're all okay. I don't know. But these stripes, eventually I was like, just paint. Just have fun. That's the whole point of this, is to have fun, be creative, and try not to put so much pressure on it, because I put a lot of pressure on myself with these DIY projects that they have to be perfect. So I'm really trying to almost bend that and say, I want it to look nice, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I will say though, looking back on this video while I'm editing, I do really wish I did take the time to make those stripes perfect, because ow, they are not very straight. They should have been much better. Anyway, as I paint some more wonky stripes, why don't I take this time to talk about my final thoughts of this project, because obviously as I'm editing, these guys are already done. They're chilling on my desk, waiting for me to use them in a thumbnail, but I really enjoyed this project. I enjoyed the sculpting element of it, I think the least, but even in that I still had fun trying to figure out, well, how do I cover this? How am I going to turn this into a ruffle? How am I going to turn this into a hat? But the painting part is really where I had the most fun, because I love to put background noise on of a YouTube video or a TV show. Like I'm currently rewatching Modern Family, so I love putting on just background noise and just zoning out and painting. I used to be a big painter and I stopped when I moved, and I really enjoyed painting this. I found it really peaceful and calm, and being able to film this overhead was super duper cool, so get ready to see overhead shots in a lot more videos. But this overall activity I really enjoyed and would do again. Like, if I get another Sonny Angel that I don't love, I am fully going to customize it. I see no reason why not to. I mean, take something you don't love and turn it into something you do love. With all that said, let's head on to the outro. So here is Ponyo fully finished. She is obviously not perfect, like you can see the little white imperfections of where her hair broke off and I was too lazy to repaint, but I really like her. I think she came out really cute. And now here is Sosuke. He also looks quite cute with his imperfect lines, his messed up anchor. I am pretty proud of his shorts though, and his body. Those were pretty easy, but they came out pretty cute. And I think he came out pretty cute as a result, and I really love him. And here they are together on the aforementioned bookshelf. I think they look super duper cute together, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. And this is the end of the video, so if you enjoyed it, let me know by liking, and please subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.